What's up, y'all? I'm back again. Running my goddamn mouth. I need some more mullein. Where's my mullein? What's up, everybody? Come on in here. Come on in here, chat room. Come on in here. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Welcome to the good life. Friday Night Jive. What's good, Hanson Lee? I want to go a little deeper in because we talked earlier in my live earlier. We were talking about Ice Cube, and that was like for a little bit, and its impact musically. But one thing about Ice Cube, you cannot limit his impact to music when he's had just as much of an impact on movies. What's up, Snap? What's up, Spirit Wonder? What's up, everybody joining? Yes, yes, yes. A blunt and mullein. Soy de Rancho Campa. What's Rancho Campa? I thought you were about to say Rancho Cucamonga. Yeah, sorry about saying, yeah, rest in peace, George Foreman. You're right, John ETA. Rest in peace to George Foreman, man. Rest in peace to George Foreman. Big George. I remember being a kid when he made his comeback. And you know, I wasn't born when Muhammad Ali fought him and all that shit. But I do remember when he made that comeback, and I remember how excited my dad was to see him. And so my dad being excited to see Big George Foreman made me excited to see Big George Foreman. Because I'm a daddy's boy. Straight up and straight down. Especially when I was a kid. Oh shit, my daddy, my pops like you, I like you. And so that made me pay attention. My dad watched all of Foreman's fights when he returned. USA, HBO. And George Foreman was also one of the great announcers too. I give him credit. I think the team of George Foreman and Jim Lampley was the best. You know, even more so than Roy Jones. Like George Foreman with Jim Lampley at HBO Boxing. That was my favorite duo, and then Larry Merchant and all them to call a fight. The old fights that they would call at Caesar's Palace in the open air arena. Man, Foreman versus Holyfield, that fight was just brutal. I remember when Foreman knocked out Michael Moore. I watched that shit live on HBO. It was 1-2, 1-2, go to sleep. Sky 2 already. I just started. I haven't even gotten into my subject yet. Yeah. Go Mac, Foreman and Merchant arguing. That shit. Them niggas would argue. And the Tyson fights, they will be arguing, right? I forgot about that. You're right. So whether you a 50s baby, 50s or 60s baby, and you saw Foreman on the first hand of his career, or if you a 70s, 80s baby and you saw him when he made his return, he made an impact on multiple generations. I just remember George Foreman providing great excitement for me and my dad to sit back and watch together. And I cherish every minute I have with my father, man. Still to this day. I sent my dad the rest in peace George Foreman. He was like, my dad was like, God damn. My dad looking at me like, you telling me everybody that died? Because I be the one giving him the news. My dad, he ain't paying attention to none of this shit. My dad ain't on the internet like that. He like, I'm the one that told my dad Chris Jasper died. I'm the one that told him Roy Ayers died. And so when I said to that George Foreman one, my dad was like, God damn, nigga. So every time you goddamn text me, somebody died. I'm like, yeah. River Bench, California Central Coast, Pinot Noir. This their Pomard. What's up, Steve Chan? Yeah, so yes, Foreman did say that. He said Foreman said at the rope dope, he hit the rope and I was the dope. He was very honest about that. Yeah. But make sure that y'all hit the like button on the way in, all right? Who's a thug? Anybody know thugs around here? Ain't no thugs around here. I don't know who you talking to. We civilians. We are civilians over here. What's up, Long Wolf? You say, hey, this 9 hearts is too much already? Hey, it needs to happen, you know? It's the only way you get, you know, life has a cycle. Things have to end and combust and come to a head in order for new things to begin. There's going to be a lot of good fallout out of this. There's going to be a lot of beauty there's always beauty that comes out of the stress, all right? Make sure you keep your faith. Hard times create beautiful times. Okay? Remember that. So, let me see. Make sure the like button. What's up, Chubby? Who said I was a gangster? You ain't never seen me bang shit. I ain't banging a motherfucking thing. None of that. But let's talk about Ice Cube's impact. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Ice Cube musically, we know the 4-album run, Death Certificate, America's Most Wanted, The Predator, Lethal Injection. But you gotta expand it, man. Think about what Ice Cube did with movies. You want to talk about one of the most impactful artists? I mean, again, remember, we chose Ice Cube. The streets, black people chose Ice Cube. And he gave us the Friday series. Come on, man. Friday? Ooh, what's that? Oh, hell nah. Oh, that's what this is. Oh, that's how y'all be doing this shit. I'll be saying other channels do this. I didn't know how they did it. I just saw. Okay, so I can sit there and okay. Hey, how does this? I always think it's corny when other channels do this. How's this look? I didn't know you could do this shit. I always see people do it, but man, that shit look corny. Let me take that shit off. So back to what we were talking about Friday. Friday is one of the most impactful, great series of all time. It's just funny. And the Friday series showed all kinds. Craig was straight lace. It had the gangster and Debo. It had the hustler and Big Worm. Had the crackhead and Zelle. But they were all surrounded by working class people. Honest working class people. And then the barber shop. Just how when the 2000 late when Obama around the time of Obama, the Democrats start Al Sharpton had a BET show in the barbershop. I think we're talking 2007, 8, and that was actually a pretty good show for the time. It made me actually pay attention to Al Sharpton for like 2 weeks. And and then even to this day, they want to talk to black men, they go to the barbershop. That's Ice Cube. Yeah, Friday showed a black family that loved each other, and it also showed that you can solve your problems through a fight, but not you don't have to kill nobody to solve your problems. You know? Yeah, Cube and Triple X. And then the Are We There Yet series. Look at the level of entertainment Cube gave us and contrast that to 50 Cent and what he's given us on his movies and TV shows. Get Rich or Die Trying. 99% of the motherfuckers died trying. Or got rich and still ended up dying because they got rich through nefarious means. Contrast that with all of these prison shows, Raising Canaan and Power and celebrations of degeneracy. You look at Cube, you look at even deeper than going into his movies. You got that, and you also got, I would say, Ice Cube has discovered more comedians than everybody except for Russell Simmons. Got to give Russell Simmons Def Jam credit, but a lot of your Def Comedy Jam was recruited right out of here in South Central LA at the Leimert Park Regency West. That was Robin Harris's thing, Def Comedy, that Russell saw Robin Harris doing. But you got to give Russell Simmons his credit for creating Def Comedy Jam and providing a launching vehicle that made a lot of working comedians. But Ice Cube made mega stars. He put on people who weren't on. Think about the people who went through Ice Cube, who Ice Cube gave a shot to that weren't world renowned. Chris, at the time, he got him. Chris Tucker, Bernie Mac, Faison Love, Zelle. Why am I drawing blank to his name? Peanuts brother. Because I know him. Man, Zelle. Why am I drawing his blank to his name? Man, he was a good dude, too. I used to run across him all the time. Why am I drawing blank to his name? Y'all know Zelle's name. Anthony Johnson, yeah. Man, that dude was dope. AJ. AJ was cool as hell. Ice Cube gave us Cat Williams, Mike Epps. I mean, he gave all of these guys prominent roles in comedies. The world didn't know who Cat Williams was, although he was on Comic View. The world didn't know who the fuck Cat Williams was. The world didn't know who Mike Epps was. The world didn't know who Chris Tucker and he, through his movies, he wrote his movies in a way to where he played the straight man, and he allowed his comics to be the comic relief, and he really set up some of the world's greatest comics. Bernie Mac. Come on in here, what a prayer. And so, yeah, you win some, you lose some. Yeah, John Witherspoon. These are people the world forgot about. Although John Witherspoon and Boomerang, bang, 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 bang. And House Party, calling the police. But his role as Pops hit different. He would just be in a scene here or there in the other movies. He was still scenes. John Witherspoon was in all three of them movies. And Don D.C. Curry. Who else put Don D.C. Curry in a role like that? Yeah, Lisa Ray and Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, a ride along. Kevin Hart was already kind of owned by then, but Ice Cube did a movie with him. But like, Ice Cube has done so much for stand-up comedy, for comedy movies. Yeah, you got to coordinate from Boomerang. We had a lot of dope-ass black movies in the 90s that really gave an honest perspective of our culture. Boomerang on one end, Friday on another end. That shit stopped in the 2000s. We haven't had an accurate depiction of black culture in a movie in I don't know how long. Ice Cube really did give us a lot, you know? Not only did he give us a message, he gave us time to laugh, time to think in the barbershop, you know? Yes, Warner, he could have definitely made them. I know exactly what you mean when you said he could have made those blood and thicker than water type movies, but he didn't. He stayed away from the stereotypical bullshit. You know, Ice Cube could have made movies about hustling in the street and we got to get over and, you know, man, it is hard out here for a pimp and we got to, all the, but even when he made the Players Club, when you go back and watch the Players Club really showed the dark side of the strip club life, you know, what those women really go through. I had a homegirl that was a stripper. And I remember when she started with me, we was cool long before she started tripping, but her money got real tight. She became a stripper for like 2 years. And when we talked about it, she said, she was like, that movie, The Players Club, she was like, that's some real shit. Hell yeah, janky promoters. Even go back to janky promoters. That really broke down what. And when I first saw janky promoters, I didn't really like it. It was kind of like, eh. But then when I started getting on the road more, like when I would do comedy and music stuff on the road, it was like, oh, that's what this movie was talking about. That's what he was getting at. Ah. So I had to go back and rewatch Janky Promoters. I had to go back and watch that after some experiences. It's like, wow. When you look at the level of artistry that Ice Cube has given us, he's second to none. He's second to none. Can't put nobody ahead of Ice Cube because of the quality of art that he's given us. The overall quality of his product. Cause like for me, again, everybody, I'm different over here at the channel. I don't judge record sales and how many number ones you have. I look at the impact of the overall impact of your art. What does your art say? What did you? Because all art is informing you to do something, informing you to be a particular way. That's what art is. Art is something that is there for that leaves a message with the viewer. No matter how conscious you are, you being left a message. And so I already feel that just as an artist, being an artist is a very powerful responsibility to have. That's being an artist is one hell of a responsibility. Yeah, by was that by the TV FM? I'm high. I can't read that name. Last two letters FM. Yeah. When I put Ice Cube next to Fat Joe for the World Series, you saw Ice Cube come out. That nigga rocked Dodger Stadium, nigga. Bow down when you come to our town, nigga. Bow down when you westward bound. And then Fat Joe came on. I'm on the way out. Nothing can stop me. I'm on the way out. Like, you saw the difference between what hip hop really is. Yeah, 400 years getting kicked by Christians and Catholics. Yeah, I remember that. I gotta watch FBA Journal. I gotta watch his Be Real interview. I haven't seen that yet. I gotta watch it. I haven't even seen that yet. Keep up the good work, FBA Journal. Keep up the good work with your Instagram, man. For real. But I gotta watch that Be Real interview. But when you look at Cube, you have that. You know, people always talk about who he married. Ice Cube married his number one, Kim, that he rapped about. Had a baby with her, and he's raised so far where it looks like all of his children seem to have their head on straight, you know, and they all into different things. And you ain't heard nothing about Ice Cube's kids. You know? Yeah, see, Ice Cube made all the movies we loved in the 90s and the 2000s. So you got to ask yourself, who started putting money in Tyler Perry's pockets? And where did Tyler Perry come from? I remember the movie, I remember the plays and all that stuff, but you still got to be allowed access to these theaters and stuff like that. How do we get Boo, but we don't get another Friday? You know, how do we get, where did these degenerate 50 Cent films, where did, what's that dude, Billy Porter? Well, no, not, I get all these gay dudes mixed up. Not Billy Porter, what's the other gay dude? Lee Daniels. Where did these niggas come from? Somebody earlier mentioned F. Gary Gray. Like, yeah. Like, we had F. Gary Gray putting out dope shit, Cube, DJ Pooh, and I mean, just putting out just good, entertaining films. And then we get Lee Daniels. We didn't choose Lee Daniels. We chose F. Gary Gray. We chose John Singleton. You know, Cube has a very high ranking when you, to me, in my opinion, when you look at the quality of what he put out. Oh yeah, that episode of the Boondocks with Tyler Perry, yeah, that shit was funny as hell with the baby oil. That was funny. But, you know, when you see the, like, going back to the, like, the Barbershop series, the converse, especially Barbershop 1. 2 was good too. 3 was all right. I'm not mad. You know, 3 was, I only saw 3 once. But especially when you go back to Barbershop 1, it just shows all the dynamics that you deal with. Oh, look, what about All About the Benjamins? The Benjamins was just a good action film. It was a good buddy cop film. Different take with Ice Cube being a bounty hunter instead of a cop. Like, All About the Benjamins was a dope buddy cop film. In that buddy cop genre, I put All About the Benjamins as one of my favorites, you know? Nigga, him giving just the ego for him to allow Mike Epps to shine so much, you know, being an unknown actor like that. For him to allow Chris Tucker and all of these characters and not be the one that's in every scene, like, look at me, look at me, look at me. For Ice Cube to know how to just, he threw Jason Kidd level lobs to all of those comedians and made a lot of comedians famous. When I go back and look back at, oh yeah, Anaconda, yep. When I go back and look at artists, I look at the overall impact of what they created. What did they create do? What was the message of your songs overall? What was the message of your movies? What was the message of your videos? Every piece of art has a message. You know? Yeah, Kevin, you're right. Felicia Rashad did say you're great by making other people greater, right? Like, what's the message of what you do? And overall, Ice Cube's movies, his music was a message of militancy, fighting what you see, not standing for what you see, being down, being true to your people, being true to the game, true to the life that you live, true to yourself, true to your family. Movies that were just celebrations of life, you know? Oh yeah, Higher Learning. That was John Singleton. But Higher Learning is one of the greatest movies ever. Go back and really break down Higher Learning. Run, nigga, run. Higher Learning showed you the dynamic between, it shows you how some of these lonely, vulnerable white boys get recruited into white supremacist groups. It shows you how the dumb athlete who think that their stardom is enough And nigga, don't just read this book for class. Read it for yourself. That character Ice Cube played on Higher Learning, that impacted me greatly because I was in high school. I just got to high school when that movie dropped. And I always, like, Ice Cube, because my mom was always making me, she said, you going to go to college. But that Ice Cube character in Higher Learning is what made college digestible to me. Like, oh, you can still be like cool and go to college. Like, you ain't got to be no fuck. I didn't think I was that smart. I was a C student my whole life in school. I struggled to get C's, like for real. Do y'all know my first time missing a homework assignment was second semester, 11th grade. That was the first time I ever missed one homework assignment. And I used to get sick a lot. So I would get sick and miss a week of school, but still do all my work. And I would still get C's. I was a bona fide C student. So I didn't think I was smart enough to go to college when I was in 9th grade, 10th grade. I didn't think I was smart enough. My mom was like, I'm going to have to go, so my mom going to make me go. But I was like, nigga, I ain't. But when I saw Higher Learning and to see more Lawrence Fishburne and Ice Cube's character, and it took him a little longer. He didn't graduate in 4 years. He graduated, he was still there. He was a super senior, That made me look, when I saw that character, that made me look up and be like, okay, so everybody in college ain't, like, I'm thinking everybody in college at that time, because I didn't have nobody that went to college. My sister was just entering college at that time. My sister was like, my sister was about to be the first one. I had my cousin Michael that went to college, but he died when he at 39 years old. Like, he died young. He died around the same time Higher Learning came out. And so I didn't really get to pick his brain. But he was also an eye doctor. He was smart. I didn't see myself as that smart. And so, yeah, my cousin Michael died the same weekend Tupac got, the day Tupac got shot was the last time I saw my cousin Michael, eye doctor. But he was a fucking genius. I didn't think I wasn't as smart as Michael. So, go Mac, chill. You right about Michael Rappaport, go Mac, but hey, let's stay on topic, brother. That's a good point you just made there in the chat, though. Yeah. Yeah, Michael Rappaport is he's a lot more like Remy than we all thought. But let's come back to Ice Cube, dog. But, Ice Cube, Tupac wouldn't have had that part in Poetic Justice had Ice Cube not turned it down. No. Ice Cube was gonna play he's gonna play Joe Torre's part. He was gonna play Joe Torre's part. But Ice Cube was like, man, I ain't about to be in a movie where I'm leaving. He's gonna play Tupac's part. He was like, man, I ain't about to play no movie where I'm gonna leave my homeboy in Oakland night. No. But the Ice Cube character made college realistic for me. It was like, okay, that's somebody from my neighborhood in college. I could relate to him. I couldn't relate to most images of people in college before Ice Cube's character in Higher Learning. Ice Cube's working on Friday right now. I talked to my man Scroncho about that. Salute to Scroncho, man. Salute to Scroncho. Me and Scroncho had a conversation about that. And a few other people. And I did see that clip on the Be Real podcast where Ice Cube was talking about, they're working some things out, but the movie is on so far. But even Ice Cube's character in Boys in the Hood, he was a gangster, but he was a gangster with principles, like when you saw, what's his name, Gooding, I'm drawing a blank. Not Omar Gooding's brother. Why am I drawing a blank to his name? His father sang with the main ingredient. Um, Gooding. They've been accusing him of touching women lately. What's his name? I know Trey in the movie, but Cuba. Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. But Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character was a character that I related to in the movie, Although I wasn't no fly guy, and I stayed at home with two parents. I have parents in two different places. But he was the straight ahead guy in the neighborhood that didn't want all that bullshit. But we all had Boys in the Hood was the most accurate depiction of LA ever of all that era of movies. And my man, not my man, but I don't know him personally, but I like his music. Jason Martin, aka Problem, put up a dope tweet a few weeks ago. He said, these movies, he said, New Yorkers made these caricature movies of LA. How would they feel if LA niggas made a caricature movie in New York, basically? Colors, New York niggas, that wasn't LA. Don't Be a Menace, that was a good spoof film, but that wasn't LA. New York niggas, the Wayans brothers. Like all this Menace to Society, none of that stuff was LA. None of that stuff was LA. Boys in the Hood, that was LA. Because you had the athlete, you got to see that the hood was more than just gangster. And it showed the humanity in the gangster. Ice Cube brought humanity to the gangster role. I can't say we hate Don't Be a Menace because it's funny, but looking back, Don't Be a Menace is one of the funniest spoof films of all time. But Don't Be a Menace also created a lot of stereotypes about LA street culture. The Marlon Wayans character, a lot of people that ended up being that stereotype ended up being the prevailing stereotype of LA, and it was so not niggas are so not like that. Like me personally, like everybody loves Tupac, but Tupac was too, for me, he was too here and there. He had a lot of, and he's a Gemini just like Ice Cube. But Tupac, although he was real, he was also a character too. All that fighting and shit. And I like Tupac, but I never got all the way into Tupac. It was kind of like here in LA, we embrace Tupac because Tupac embraced us. But he ain't an LA nigga. But we still love him because he embraced us. Ice Cube is an LA guy. Tupac was wild, but Tupac was also young. He was in his 20s. I would like to have seen him get into his 30s and 40s to see, him mature. But even I can't give too much of an excuse. Ice Cube was 16 writing wise rhymes, you know? Ice Cube was young too. But Cube is more in alignment with the LA culture and how we really get down in LA. You know? D Griff, that was a good point. Yeah, the watch was hilarious. But if we're going to point to the culture, I'm going to point to Ice Cube. See, you know, a lot of Tupac was a star, and you know, I don't have too many bad things to say about Tupac because anybody that pulls their car over to stop a black person from getting scuffed up and ends up shooting a police officer, even though he knew I was a police officer, but all he knew was it was somebody attacking a black person, and he stopped in Atlanta and did something. That's a level of heart that's immeasurable, you know? So moves like that is why I can never disrespect Tupac, you know? Tupac, from all accounts, is somebody who had conviction, and he was down with you or he wasn't down with you. But at the same time, Tupac he's Gemini. He was down, but he was also goofy. Tupac was goofy. And let me tell you what I mean by goofy. I know the stories here in LA, trying to take people, talking to somebody, and the dude coming to get his girlfriend, and Tupac and his whole crew just still on that nigga, and 20 niggas jumping people in the clubs in LA. I remember them stories. That's goofy shit. Starting fights over like y'all may not know, like I wasn't out, but my sister's generation and my older cousin's generation was out when Tupac was around. And Tupac, it was known. It was like when he came into a room sometime, the energy would just shift. It would get violent. And them niggas would start fights with people. I don't like people who start fights. People spend their money to come out to have a good time. Why should they have to worry about your ignorant ass starting a fight so you can feel tough today? That's goofy shit. I didn't know Tupac personally, so I can't say he was a goofy. But I can say his behavior most definitely was goofy. That's goofy shit. And when you look at the situation the night that he got killed, that was a goofy ass fight. Let's just tell the truth. He saw somebody that they said stole a chain. And Tupac ended up getting Suge Knight put in jail because when Suge Knight kicked that dude that violated his probation, a lot of people went to jail over Tupac making that goofy ass move. A real gangster say, you know what? We in Vegas. Cameras everywhere. Not now. Let's get that nigga on the streets. We can get him at the club tonight. Not now. Tupac starting that fight at the MGM Grand, that was goofy shit. Because you had people around you who got records. And when you got people around you that got records, you gotta move differently. You can't carry guns. You know, you can't start shit. Cause these niggas is gonna go to jail. If they gonna go to jail, at least let these niggas go to jail on some shit that they did. You don't start no fucking fight at the MGM Grand. That was goofy as fuck. And he's in his mid-20s at that point. He's not 19. He's not 16. How old was Tupac when that? 24, 25? Yeah, and he was out on bail. Just call it what it was. It's no hate. Look, I'm doing the show talking about how much I love Ice Cube, but I did not like West Side Connection. I could be honest. I didn't like West Side Connection. I hated like Bow Down. I liked this performance at Dr. Satan, but I didn't like Bow Down. I didn't like nothing West Side Connection did. It doesn't mean Ice Cube ain't my favorite. Still ain't my favorite. I could be honest about the people I love. He 25 years old. You can be honest. That was a goofy ass move. You don't put the people around you in compromising positions. When I would be around my friends that was in the NBA, I knew this was back when David Stern was running the league. I wouldn't pull out a blunt and just smoke in LA back then. I would smoke anywhere, but if I was around my NBA friends, I wouldn't, cause I don't want to jeopardize them. You know what I mean? That's goofy when you jeopardize that. And it's okay to be a ride or die. That's fine. But why should you have to die? Why would you ride? It's a time and a place for everything. If the people you with see this weirdo Orlando Anderson for whoever you say stole the chain, and they not going to go fight him, what the fuck are you doing? That was a goofy move. Even when you go back and hear the story about him getting shot by Haitian Jack, allegedly. You know, it was a lot of not understanding where you are, your environment. Those people are dangerous to be around. I remember as a friend, I had this one friend named John. Me and John was cool as hell. But I remember in the early 2000s, like, you know how you have a friend, they're the first one to get a car? Late 90s, early 2000s, we just getting out of high school. He the first one in our crew to get a car. This dude would go down Crenshaw. See, for me, going down Crenshaw didn't mean anything to me. I grew up off Crenshaw. I never hung out on Crenshaw. It was too much city shit going on Crenshaw. It was too much silly shit happening on Crenshaw in 2000, 2001. You go dip down Victoria, it'd be a whole bunch of niggas in chains and bats just beating your car just because. And what you gonna do? The nigga, and you know, and it would be shit like that. I remember seeing, maybe because I lived in the neighborhood, I would always hear stories on Monday about shit that happened to niggas, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm good on Crenshaw. A couple times I went down there, but not really. But my homeboy John I would go with him. This nigga would be going down Crenshaw, and he would always stare. And one thing about the hood, pressing number one, if you know what I mean, you don't stare. And you definitely don't stare at women because you don't know whose woman you staring at. And my homeboy John was just goofy. This nigga would come, he would just be staring, and then he would see a girl and be looking at her, and it'd be like, and this nigga was, it's a cornball. He's a cornball. I love my dog, but he's a cornball. And he would, it would be like, why are you looking at her? You don't know, you first want to see who she with. Okay, you see a chick that you want, you look, okay, it's cool to want to holler, but look and see where she going. Don't just go walk up, look at the environment. What's up, Question H? You don't just go. You watch who you around. And this nigga would see the chick and just go. And then he ended up hollering at some other nigga's chick. I don't know how God saved us. This nigga was fucking goofy. You get them niggas that come around, they loud. And one rule about the hood is chill. Go into an environment and post up. Don't peacock. Don't flash. Don't be loud. Because if in LA, if you flashy, if you loud, somebody's probably going to check your temperature. And I had another friend who just come in just loud. We'd be on Crenshaw, nigga just loud. Hey, yeah, nigga, yeah. I'm like, I had to stop hanging with that nigga because he was goofy. You bringing attention to us. And now we going to have to answer questions that I don't want to have to answer just because I'm out having a good time. I mean, my dad taught me wisdom, man. You don't hang around niggas that'll compromise your situation. And Tupac was a goofy ass nigga that compromised a lot of people, and a lot of people died because he was goofy. Period. And that doesn't take away from Tupac's legacy. He still was a master artist. He still was a great. He still was a star. He still was somebody who dropped wisdom. He still dropped good music. He still did everything else that we give him credit for. That's true too. But if I got a group of 10 kids around me, I'ma show them what Tupac did, and I'm be like, now him getting killed. You see, I didn't even mention that part because I believe that was more than some street shit. I believe, because I know Vegas, especially at that time. I used to be in Vegas all the time in '96. There's no fucking way you're on goddamn Flamingo and Koval after a Tyson fight. Vegas traffic back then was gridlocked. So, because this was before they made them. In '96, Vegas didn't have all those bridges and shit. And so the strip on a normal Saturday night was crazy. Tyson weekend, the only way somebody got away is if they had help. There's no way. There's no way. There are no witnesses. There's no way. I just don't believe that. It's too no. I'll be in Vegas, especially back then. My parents, I was in high school. My parents, man, we'd be in Vegas twice a year back then when I was in going back to elementary school. My parents always had us in Vegas. Staying at Circus, nigga. Sometimes the Flamingo, not the Flamingo, the Tropicana. Rest in peace to the Tropicana. I'm very familiar with, like, Vegas is like my second city. I had been to Vegas 50 times by the time I was 15. So there's no way those people got away without somebody wanting those people to get away. Yeah, if you grew up in LA, Vegas was your second home. So there's no way, you can't convince me otherwise. The only way Tupac's kid got away is because they wanted him to get away. But I didn't even mention his death before that. I'm just talking about the actions because we could just keep it to that fight in the MGM. Say Tupac lived. Just say he lived. That was still the goofiest of goofiest moves. You're on probation. The person who bailed you out, Suge Knight, he's on probation. These other niggas it's definitely niggas in this crew that got warrants. It's other niggas that got probation. You gotta sit your monkey ass down at that point. Yeah, so if Tupac lived, he still would have went to jail over what? Because he stole somebody that stole a fucking chain? It's going to be plenty of times to whoop his ass. You don't fight in a casino. That's federal, nigga. I'm not even a criminal, and I know that. You don't fight anywhere money's being exchanged. A casino, a bank, a savings and loans, a credit union. Anywhere that has a fucking vault of cash, you don't fight. That's a whole nother set of charges and issues you're gonna be dealing with. So Tupac was goofy. Well, I say now he wasn't. He made goofy moves. I'm gonna say it that way. Those were goofy moves, and you gotta tell that truth. No, Tupac was not a criminal, but Tupac had just gotten out of jail. So yeah, technically he was a criminal because he's on probation. So technically he was. You gotta know better. You go to jail and you got charges, nigga, read what you better read what the fuck it sends your ass back there. Somebody said don't talk on a dead homie. Nigga, you didn't know Tupac. Shut the fuck up. Nigga, why don't you, nigga, go jack off and watch the video of the Ambitious Riders, nigga. Fuck out my chat with that bullshit. I can speak on things that happen in public, nigga. Fuck you. We talking about the man's decisions. And what ultimately landed him in jail. Got him killed. We should be able to look at everything that happens and be like, okay, where did that mistake happen? Suge Knight wouldn't be in prison for life right now if it weren't for that, because Suge Knight's a fucking Suge Knight is another fucking goofball. I love listening to Suge's Art of Dialogue interviews, but Suge Knight's another fucking goofball. Going around bullying people, just a bully. Nigga said dude was a thug like nipple chain. Suge Knight was a fucking goofy ass bully. We know them stories of all throughout the 90s. Everybody heard the stories. If you weren't, I was too young. That was a generation older than me, so I was never directly impacted by that era of Death Row because I was still in middle school and high school during that era of Death Row. That was right in the middle of my middle school, high school years when Death Row popped off. And I remember you always had your homeboy's big brother that was cool as hell, but got jumped in the club last week because they brushed the shoulder of somebody in that whole Death Row crew, and Suge Knight, being goofy, ordered them niggas to beat somebody's ass. Or Suge Knight, Tupac, would know you with your girl. He would see you with your girl, and one of them, either Tupac, Suge, or one of them Death Row niggas would come up playing, hollering at your girl. You stand up for your girl, now 20 niggas is jumping you. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. That's a bunch of faggot ass shit. And I said that word. That's a bunch of faggot ass behavior. People getting jumped on a night out by 20 niggas because these Suge Knight and Tupac want to be goofy. And again, I'm fans of these people. I'm a fan of Suge Knight. I'm a fan of Tupac. But the truth is the motherfucking truth, nigga. That's some weirdo ass, punk ass shit. That's some bitch shit. Niggas having fun jumping somebody. I don't have any respect for that. B. Amos. You right. But that was so weak. It's like what Judge Joe Brown said. I'll never forget what Judge Joe Brown said. Judge Joe Brown's like, man, these dudes are punks. They're basically they're lesbians. They got male plumbing, but other than that, they're women. And that's disrespectful to women, honestly. Because women are a little smarter than that. We can't sit here, black people, just because people made some great music and put that shit off to the side and play that to the side. Yeah, these niggas is basically studs, Biz Marquis, yeah. Judge O'Brown's not a fed, he's a judge. So Suge Knight was a goofball. And how did Suge, think about it, let's go back. How did Suge Knight get his first charge? He was in Solar Records, he was down at Can-Am Studios, Solar Records. Some niggas came up, according to the court case, that he was playing around, some shit, misunderstanding, and he pulled out a gun and he shot a gun, not at the people, just in the air, having fun, being silly, according to him. Of course, Judge Joe Brown's not a disruptor, John Priester. He gives you the information so you can be the disruptor. What are you talking about? It look like Judge Joe Brown old ass out there disrupting some shit. He's somebody that worked on the inside and gave you the information so you can be the disruptor. It ain't everybody's job to do everything. That's one thing we gotta get over as black people. Some people's job is to get on the inside and tell you what's going on so you can do it. What good was Judge Joe Brown beat it? What good is all that getting into the inside and seeing what it is just to send your dumb ass to jail? No. Get inside, see what's going on, come back and tell everybody else so you can do it. It ain't his job to get on the inside and do it and fix it. Nigga, that's our job to fix it. What are you talking about here? And I got respect for you, brother, but just let's chill. Let's chill. We see people in positions of influence and we expect them to do all the work. No, their job is to do their job, not do all the jobs. Just because somebody has a job, a prominent role, it's not their job to do everything. It's your job to do it. Let's be real. Larry Smith. Larry Smith said he's in it. But back to what I was saying about Suge Knight. Suge Knight's first charge was shooting a fucking gun, being silly. Being silly. Judge Joe Brown is from L.A. Of course, he doesn't have a natural Southern accent because he's naturally from L.A. Again, dude, chill. Hey, John, just chill with the, just relax, brother, relax. Just chill. Post, just relax. John, relax. Relax. Calm down. There's no need to be that angry. We build it right now. Save your gripes for Judge Joe Brown and tell those to somebody who gives a fuck. But back to what we're talking about. But like his first charge was shooting a gun. That's what got him a suspended sentence. That's what got him put on probation. He pled out, got put on probation. Suge Knight's second charge was when Tupac made that goofy ass move. Instead of Suge Knight taking a step back and just watching it like, yo, I'm on probation. Let me sit back and not do nothing. Suge Knight dumbass went over there and kicked the dude in the head twice. Now, it wasn't much, but you're a fucking black mogul. You don't think they come? That's why understanding white supremacy is so important. You don't think they're gonna do anything to come for you? So when you talk about when Suge Knight had to first sit down and lose control of Death Row, it was over two stupid moves. Firing a gun just so you could scare somebody and kicking somebody in the head twice. That's literally how he lost his empire. I mean, out of all the crazy shit Suge Knight did, he lost his empire over firing a gun to scare somebody, being silly, and kicking somebody in the head once or twice at a casino. Because everybody else was fighting. Tupac jumped in. Yeah, I may as well jump in too. Nigga, you the leader. What you jumping in for, nigga? The leader sit his ass. As a leader, you sit your ass in the back and let these minions do their work. You sit back and be like, your dumb ass want to get a free, I want to kick. 2 years, nigga. No, 6 years. And they threw the book at his black ass, too. Appreciate the super chat, Bobby Bobby Vegas gave me. Yeah, stupidity. That's right, FBA Journal. He literally got 2 charges being a fucking goofy ass nigga. And then so when it gets to what got put him in there for murder, like he said on Art of Dialogue, he believes that they was trying to kill him. And when that shit dropped out of dude's waistband, that shit looked like a gun to me. I believe Suge Knight when he says he felt like his life was under threat. But he rolled up on Dr. Dre's set. He said he was called and told to come up there to Tams, and he did. And he did look scared for his life. It did look like dude was coming up to rough him up. But, it didn't look like Suge intentionally killed that person. But strike 3, nigga. If you hadn't made all them fucking goofball ass moves, maybe even if that situation happened, maybe you would still be out in the streets right now. Or you would have had like a 10-year sentence or something for manslaughter. 5-year, 10-year sentence for manslaughter if you didn't make all those previous goofy ass moves. Being a fucking goofball idiot. Meanwhile, we got Ice Cube sitting right there who made music as far as when it came to speaking against the nation and highlighting the ills of society. My Ice Cube was much more profound than Tupac, making music that highlighted the ills of society and more consistent too, because he didn't jump from that to kill. Ice Cube never told you to kill somebody, even in his diss tracks. He never told you to kill. He never told you to bang on somebody. If Ice Cube told you to bang on somebody, he was telling you to bang on Uncle Sam. He was telling you not to fuck with a cave bitch. Kanye. We got a real life example. Ice Cube, the man who married his woman and became a great husband and a father, and put out movies that we could enjoy. Friday wasn't no extra profound movie, but it was just something we can enjoy. And it ended with, nigga, put up your hands. Put down the gun and put up your hands. That was the climax. Think about that. The climax to Friday was put down the gun and put up your dukes so you can live to fight another day. You think you a man with that gun. No, I'm a man without it. How many times does a black movie end with that kind of a note? Most black movies, the people either die like dead presidents or end up in jail. Most of our movies, we either die or end up in jail. So look at the overall. So Ice Cube is very clear. And I'm not telling y'all not to celebrate Tupac. Tupac deserved all of the love that people give him. But we got to be honest about the last day of his life. That whole situation was some goofball shit. Suge Knight was a goofball. Like, I be hearing all people talking about, like, people criticize Snoop and his reaction to Death Row and how, man, Snoop wasn't down. I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't have been down with them niggas either. Yeah, live to fight another day is Father Clarence Witherspoon's words. Appreciate that, Bobby Vegas. No, Ice Cube never made he never made Dear Mama. But Ice Cube did make a song called Us, a forensic analysis of what's going on with the black community and how we can fix it. Ice Cube made a song called I Wanna Kill Sam, talking about how we got here and what we're up against as a people. Ice Cube did make a song, Today Was a Good Day, bringing together the people of the inner city to not make us all look like a whole bunch of savage monkeys, and to show the world. That was his biggest song, showing the world that on any average day in the hood, you know what I mean? Ice Cube never made anything talking about killing another black man. He told tales of black people getting killed that were ingrained in a larger lesson. Like I said before, Tupac deserves all of the love and the credit that he gets. I'm just saying, because look, every time I look on YouTube, there's a new Tupac video out. And there's youngsters studying that weren't alive during Tupac's era, and they're studying him. If you're going to study somebody, study all of them. Yeah, colorblind. Yeah. Colorblind was some real shit. I tell people all the time, Cave Bitch and True to the Game. Cave Bitch and True to the Game. Tupac ain't never made no True to the Game. If we're going to go around song for song. Because The reason why I can point out and tout true to the game is because we're living that now. For the last 20 years, we've been living what Ice Cube cautioned us against in True to the Game. There won't be no ice cubes, just vanilla ice. When you first start rhyming, it started out slow. Talking about Jay-Z wasn't even out yet. He was telling you Jay-Z was coming 10 years before Jay-Z got popular. The rapper that starts off one way and then he kind of see what other people doing and he biting off what they do. That was Jay-Z. Now, I'm not saying he wrote it because he wrote that in 91, so he wasn't thinking about no fucking Jay-Z. He wasn't thinking about no Jay-Z. But that's what we have in Jay-Z. That's what we have in Drake. You know, he warned Kanye. He told Kanye, of course, Kanye wasn't out yet. Kanye wasn't rapping at the time. But if Kanye listened, he said, look at you trying to be a white or a Jew, but ask yourself, who are they to be equal to? Kanye to this day is struggling, wonder why he can't have his white woman and then turn around and try to make black, my ex-wife, Kim, has my black children. Nigga, Ice Cube warned you about that. They don't care. They'll have a new nigga next year. Yeah, I know Jay was rapping in the mid-'80s, but I'm saying that Jay wasn't popular in 91. He hadn't made his switch yet. Ice Cube just told you what was coming. And he was telling you this is what music is going to be like if we don't keep it true. Armenians are white. Go check their driver's license. They're classified as white. And if you go to a court next to an Armenian, you'll find out how white they are. Let me show you how white Armenians are. They control the city of Glendale. They got gangsters. They make all kind of fraudulent clothes, knockoffs. And you know what? The government turns a blind eye to all that corruption. That shows you how white they are. You think your black ass would be able to create knockoff Jordans and knockoff Guess jeans and have an organized crime syndicate, and basically you had that organized crime syndicate controlling the city of Glendale here in Southern California? Can your black ass do that? No. But a white person can. That show you how white Armenians are. Armenians just aren't white when they have to deal with actual white people. That's the only time they're non-white. If they're coming up against an Anglo-Saxon, then yeah, an Armenian ain't white at that point. But outside of an Armenian coming up against an Anglo-Saxon, they're white. They white to your black ass. Put it like that, Brother John. They white. Put it like this. Are they white? Technically, no. But to me and you, in the social dynamic, they're white. Most definitely. And their whiteness is going to work 100% of the time over your black ass. Their whiteness just doesn't work against Anglo-Saxons. That's the only people. The Armenians' whiteness works against Mexicans. It works against black people. It just don't work against white people. Yeah, I know the Caucasus Mountains are in Armenia. They're in Georgia. You can go hit Hitler's definition all you want. But Hitler's dead, nigga, and you living in 2025. Good luck. Go to Glendale right now and find out. Why don't your black ass go up to Glendale right now? You'll find out how fast them motherfuckers are. Hell, Armenians all up in Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills is mostly Jews, and after Jews is probably Armenians. Beverly Hills. Arabs. They're in all through Beverly Hills. Let your black ass try to go buy a house in Beverly Hills off of Elm, on the 200 block of Elm. Good luck. If an Armenian wants to buy a house on the 300 block of LaGrange, or the 200 block of Rodeo, or any of those streets, they're gonna be able to buy the house. Let your black ass have twice the money. Yeah. Nigga said Armenia is just a musty Russian. And Armenians are the most flossing its ass people. God damn, they floss way more than niggas. So, yeah, pay attention to the world that you're in, folks. What's up, show? Yeah, shouts out to Best Eye. Power Guy 80. Salute to you. But, so yeah, we gotta understand that, y'all. Gotta understand that, like, the real people have been put out there. And like I said, no disrespect to Tupac, but when you look at the events surrounding his life, that last thing he did was goofy as hell. And I'm sure had he lived through that, had Tupac been able to live through that night, I'm 99.9% sure that, after a period of time, he would have said that was a goofy move. If Tupac were alive right now, he would say, that move, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that one. That probably wasn't one of my better moves because I got a lot of people around me in trouble. Yeah, I know I felt a certain way, but that move put a lot of people around me in trouble. I'm sure he'd say that because Tupac was a smart dude. He just was young and impulsive. He's an ace of diamonds, selfish, predisposed to think about himself. He got swept up in that bullshit. And that was my issue with that whole gangster rap era here in LA. I saw so many people during that time who were good, upstanding, lived in good neighborhoods get swept up in when All Eyes on Me dropped. I'll never forget. I just saw it change. I didn't like All Eyes on Me when it dropped. It was just dangerous. Like, it was like when the Chronic dropped. It was like, yeah, niggas was acting hard. Yeah, it was still kind of goofy. When Doggy Style dropped, people, you saw it, but we still knew, okay, the gangsters over there, the squares over here. Eazy-E dropped another album, his shit. But when All Eyes on Me dropped, I just remember the energy in LA getting real dark. Because, let's go back. It was very tight. LA was tight. Go back and listen to Death Certificate. You could You can feel the tension in LA in 1991 when Death Certificate dropped. The 91, early 92, 1990, 89, 90, you felt the tension in the city. 91, the tension was at a fever pitch. And if you listen to Death Certificate, listen to Black Korea, listen to I Want to Kill Sam, that gives a real sense of how tight things were in this city. It was bad. Like the energy was just bad. And then the riots happened. And the riots was like a big old pressure release. The riots was like, that summer in 92, that was a warm summer. I remember, because I spent a lot of time on my bike, riding my bike down Crenshaw and watching them, like the buildings were still burnt. When school let out, a lot of those buildings were still burnt. They hadn't removed the rubble yet. So that summer, me and my friends, we spent a lot of time on our bike, riding our bike up and down Crenshaw, up and down La Brea and all that area, seeing all the burnt rubble. And it was just, the city was just kind of still. But the reason why we were riding our bikes on Crenshaw, because 92 felt like a very safe time. LA was very safe in 92. The gang, you had the gang truce. This was before the police fucked it up. You had the gang truce. It was a lot of unity in the city. Like you can ride, you can go around, and people weren't tripping on nothing. I remember 92 being my biggest thing in 92, I remember 1992 after the riots. After the riots, that was the first year when I was living over off Rodeo Road in Crenshaw. That was the first year that I can remember, like, it not being a bunch of shootings on my block. There was a bunch before the riots. But from April through the end of 92, we didn't have no shootings. That was the first time in my life that I can remember no shootings happened on my block. Because usually we would get, on a low end, 3 or 4. I remember 91, it felt like we was hearing gunshots on our block damn near every other week, especially Friday night. We'd be sitting there watching Arsenio. All you hear is a Tech 9. You'd be like, damn, me and my brother and my sister, we all just ducked. We all knew the drill, fall to the floor. I remember it was bad, 91. It was bad. It was bad. I remember hearing Tech 9s and AKs all the time. 92 was the first year after the riots. Like, I didn't hear no gun. I remember being surprised, like, yo, I remember telling my brother and my sister, one time we was like playing like Mario Kart, listening to Michael Jackson's Remember the Time, the Dangerous album. I remember playing Mario, like, man, we ain't heard no gunshots all year. That shit was crazy. 93 was good. 93 was good. 94, the shit started kind of creeping back up. 95, All Eyes on Me hit, and it started feeling dangerous. It was like the tension came back when All Eyes on Me hit. I remember feeling that, like, damn. It started to make 95 feel like 91. And I just remember people getting tough in 95 when All Eyes on Me hit. I remember niggas just, now everybody tough. Now everybody's, I'm like, hey, let's go play basketball. Everybody's like, yeah, nah, I'm good. We gonna post up right here. 95, I'm picking up a pair of drumsticks, teaching myself how to play the drums. That All Eyes on Me, when that shit dropped, I remember shit getting real tight. Great fucking album, though. It was a great album. But that All Eyes on Me, the shit, it just got tight here. It started to tighten back up. It really did. And then 96 hit. Being in high school and just seeing that's when being the whole thug thing just got to be all the way in vogue. Yeah, it was a great fucking album. I ain't about to sit here and act like All Eyes on Me was that'd be some punk ass shit for me to say it was a bad album. That was a great fucking album. Yeah, I just remember All Eyes on Me, the temperature getting real tight again. And everybody, like, Tupac was a mega star. Like, we can't sit here and, you said, not before you got to a fight at the beach. See, you gotta remember this. You can't sit around and talk about Tupac's influence without talking about Tupac's influence. On one hand, people like to talk about, man, Tupac was the greatest. He was influential. Yeah, he was very influential. Now let's give a forensic analysis of what that influence was. And that's what I'm doing. I'm saying, yes, I agree. Tupac was extremely influential. But what was the influence? Niggas weren't going around. They didn't take the side of Tupac that was pulling off to the side of the road to defend a black man, or the great side of Tupac that put Carl Kanai on just because he was black and ended up wearing his stuff. Oh, Larry, fuck you, B.I. Nah, what Larry just wrote is an inside joke. Fuck you, Larry. Man, take your old ass to sleep, nigga. That's right, PJ Allen. All these niggas wanted to emulate him. Yeah, that's right. Midnights was tough. What's up, Reno Molina? Tupac was extremely influential. Like, you guys, he was very influential. And Larry can attest to this. Tupac's influence was the tough guy. People didn't pick up on digital underground Tupac. The Tupac's influence was thug life. And people didn't sit down and take time to learn what he meant about thug life. They took it literally. And you saw and the influence of that shit still lives today. Tupac's influence lives through DMX. Tupac's influence lives through 50 Cent. Tupac's influence lives. Conscious Tupac isn't what people picked up on. They picked up on fuck boy, let's start fights in fucking casinos, Tupac. Just turn on Bomb First right now. Listen to Reggie White stories. Listen to them Vlad stories. When they talk about Tupac, no one's talking about the militant Tupac. Nobody gives a shit. You don't get Art of Dialogue programming talking about Brenda's had a baby Tupac. All you gotta do is give an analysis of what you see. I'm a neutral person. I don't give a fuck about none of these niggas if I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. But you don't turn on Art of Dialogue and hear them talking about Brenda had a baby. When you watch Art of Dialogue, when you watch Bomb First, when you watch Vlad TV, they're not talking about that side of Tupac. They're talking about thug life Tupac without breaking down what he meant about thug life. You're right, Bobby Vegas. They try to live like Tupac. Tupac's lower nature is the side that captivates the world, not his higher nature. And that's just true. That's either true or it's not true. If Tupac's higher nature is what people magnetize to, show me the evidence. Again, I don't have an issue with Tupac. We just have to tell the truth. Kendrick Lamar was influenced by a lot of people. Reincarnated was one song. When if you listen to the song Reincarnated was again talking about the life cycle of Tupac. He starts off that song rapping angry like Tupac. But when you listen to Reincarnated and you get to the second and third stanza, the second and third stanza of Reincarnated is the evolution. He goes through different people and he evolves out of the thug life and into a holistic human. Tupac's influence is also 50 Cent and Power and all them shows. People love Tupac for the bullshit, and that's just the truth. People love Tupac for the bullshit. Tupac created the whole gangster lover. Ja Rule, 50 Cent, the gangster. And if you're going to tell the whole truth, Tupac created the archetype for the homo thug. Now I'm saying Tupac wasn't a homo thug himself. He wasn't a homo thug, but he created that archetype for him. The homo thug is a direct influence of Tupac. All these hard ass niggas who's really homos act like homos, act tough as shit, but really you a homo. The homo Tupac is the face of the homo thug, and he wasn't gay. Am I lying, chat? Am I lying? I'm just telling the truth. The homo thug, Tupac is the archetype of the homo thug, even though he wasn't a homo. He's the face of homo thuggery. Don't listen to me. Just look it up. Just look at the world. I'm just an observer of the world that I'm in. I don't have to have any of you guys believe me. Ja Rule was a Tupac knockoff. The Homo Thug was a thing before Ja Rule became a thing. Ja Rule took that Homo Thug shit to another level. I agree with that. 50 Cent took the Homo Thug to another level. I think 50 Cent's a Homo Thug. This is my opinion. Yeah, you're right, Bismarck. Tupac had a nose ring, was always shirtless around niggas. Yeah. Tupac was known for answering the door naked with dudes being there. That's just a fact. That's what people have said. He'll fucking be in there with a chick and come in, be naked and answer the door naked. Nah, I don't give a fuck how many chicks I'm with. I'm putting some drawers on if a nigga's around. I dress decent around other men. I ain't about to have my dick clanking back and forth on knocking my knees over. Yeah, I ain't gonna have my dick clapping my kneecaps with another man around. Fuck out of here. Put some drawers on, nigga. These are just what this is what happened. Tupac had a very short life, so it's a lot that we can analyze. It's a very concentrated time that we can analyze. And the most captivating time of Tupac's life was his last 11 months. When you go and watch, nobody, think about this. Nobody's going around on, they're not going on, you don't see um, people interviewing Money B about Tupac. There are some internet now. There are interviews with Money B about Tupac, but Money B is not a part of the Art of Dialogue, Vlad TV, Adam 22 circuit, because Money B has a different perspective of Tupac before Thug Life. Nobody gives a fuck about that era of Tupac. So the people who were around for that era, Shock G when he was living, Shock G and them did a documentary on, and they're talking about Tupac with Digital Underground. Nobody gravitates towards that. They gravitate towards that last 11 months of his life with Death Row Records. That's what it has. That's what people are cashing in checks, making money hand over fist here on YouTube, talking about 11 months of Tupac's life. That's just a fact. What's up, Chuba? Yeah, y'all make sure you hit the like button. Because I'm about to get up out of here. Listen to some music. FBA Journal, chill. I know you're a Tupac fan. I am not erasing Tupac's legacy. I asked you. Pay attention. Art of Dialogue, Vlad, Adam 22, Bomb First. These channels make money hand over fist talking about the last 11 months of Tupac's life. You don't have people making money hand over fist talking about Tupac at Juilliard. Tupac's friends from Juilliard sit around. They ain't the ones getting calls. It's the outlaws that they're calling. It's not about representing FBA culture. It's about what people are attracted to. It's about influence, what people are influenced by. They don't have to represent the culture. Art of Dialogue does represent the culture, though. I give Art of Dialogue his credit. He does. Tupac's, the part of Tupac's life people are attracted to is those last 11 months, period. Period. You got pre-juice Tupac and post-juice Tupac. Everybody cares about those last 11 months. Tupac was great. But if we're going to tell the story, let's tell the whole story. That's how I look at it. Let's tell the story. Let's tell the story. And that's with no disrespect to Tupac. None at all. What's up, True Bleed? Yeah. You know? Yeah, Tupac was a background dancer, yeah. Tupac was a very profound and profane person. He was both. In order to understand him, you got to understand both sides. You can't look at Tupac on one side and get the story and be like, oh, no. He's all of it. And you got to give true acknowledgement to it all. You got to acknowledge all of it. Damn, these stars are beautiful. This is a clear night. It ain't no goddamn clouds out here tonight. Yeah, nothing but trouble. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. All around the world, same song. Tupac, go ahead and rock this. Yeah, entire Death Certificate album. That's the best album. Yeah, hands down. Marp said, "Tell the whole story of Cube." Okay, great. If you think that the whole story, if you think that NWA was a bad influence during the Cube years, you're just a fucking idiot that didn't listen to NWA. Go back and listen. Let's go back. Okay, since you said let's tell the whole story. With 16-year-old Ice Cube writing a song like "Boys in the Hood," that was a 16-year-old's perspective that was writing an analysis of what was going on in his neighborhood, and that shit was happening in LA at the time. Let's go back to Dope Man, Dope Man. Dope Man was a cautionary tale of the Dope Man. The song Dope Man didn't glorify dope dealing nigga. The song Dope Man, if you go to the last line, nigga, it talks about people dying off dope, people going to jail on dope, and how the dope man needs to get killed. If you want to go back to NWA when Ice Cube was still with them, yeah, nigga, let's go back. Let's go back to the music that he wrote. That shit was all that NWA shit when Ice Cube had his pen on it. He was telling you what was going on. That's what you call an artist. He knew how to make the story interesting for you to listen. But every story had a lesson, even when he was 18, 19 years old. I don't even have to you're right, go back, everyone evolves, but let's deal with 16, 17-year-old Ice Cube. Native Jeff Smith just made a great fucking point. The difference between Cube and Pac was Cube had a father. That's a great point, Jeff Smith. Yeah, he said that nigga thought that he had a point when he said, "Yeah, let's go into talking about NWA." Yeah, let's talk about NWA. NWA, Straight Outta Compton, was an album that was illustrating what was going on in LA because that I was alive back then. That shit was really happening. People that criticize NWA, but you won't criticize the movie Colors. Remember, Colors and Straight Outta Compton dropped the same year. So why is it Straight Outta Compton's bad, but Colors is good? FBA Journal, chill. Do you even know the story of the Common and Ice Cube beef? Minister Farrakhan made them stop. Ice Cube, they was going back and forth between to him and Common. And Common's a fucking great artist. Hell, coming to a standstill with Common in a rap beef. That's what's wrong with that. Common, one of my favorite rappers of all time. Nigga, Common's a fucking genius. And it was Minister Farrakhan that stopped that. So we didn't even get to hear what Ice Cube had a response because Farrakhan stopped it. So chill. We'll minimize a man's whole career to one rap beef that Farrakhan stopped. Calm down. So this motherfucker Ice Cube, yeah, as a 16-year-old, you niggas will criticize Straight Outta Compton, but you won't criticize the movie Colors, and they were telling you the same thing. You're right, Reno Molina. You're right, Reno Molina. Ice Cube was just dropping their version of the message. Straight Outta Compton was happening. Now, for people in other parts of the country, y'all didn't get it. And that's fine. But that's the message. Here in LA, we needed that album. Straight Outta Compton told everybody in LA that, damn, we ain't tripping. Oh shit, this really is happening. That's what Straight Outta Compton told people from LA. Because I was around in '88. I remember waking up and seeing Miss Jackson's house across the street get run through with a battering ram tank. See, what y'all gotta realize is when the government decided to create crack, they gave it to us in LA first. You niggas got it later. So when Straight Outta Compton dropped, we now 7 or 8 years into our crack epidemic. And crack still hadn't reached certain parts of the country yet. And we 8 years into it. You gotta realize, do you guys know, see, some of y'all are young. Do you guys know that the first SWAT team in this country's history was out of LA? The LAPD literally created the SWAT team. And the SWAT team was created to control black people. where they had tanks that would literally ram down your wall if they suspected you were dealing drugs. It doesn't mean you did. They literally created the SWAT team in LA to target black citizens. Do you know that a lot of LA's, the budget for the LAPD, a lot of the money that they make, and you can find this in the movie Eric Trupe, You Stupid Bitch, if you want some references. You can find this in a book called Danger, Duty, and Disillusion by Joan C. Barker. You can get it right now on Amazon. A lot of LAPD makes a lot of money by spreading the SWAT team and consulting SWAT teams around the world. Most of your SWAT teams in New York, Miami, Texas, Germany, France. Do you know that through the 80s and the 90s, the LAPD made millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars teaching different cities around the world how to develop a SWAT team? You can look that up. LAPD created SWAT, Daryl Gates, and then created a consulting firm to teach the rest of the country, and then by extension, the rest of the world, how to do a SWAT team. We were the beta test. So when you listen to NWA, you're listening to a response. Ice Cube was 16 when he first started writing for NWA. You're listening to the viewpoint of a 16-year-old who his city was the guinea pig for both crack and SWAT teams. Think about that for a moment. Yeah, DSM Sinister, yeah. SWAT was created by LAPD. Like now, 50 years later, everyone else sees a SWAT team and you just think that's what it's always been. No. The SWAT team was created here to control us. The ghetto bird, the helicopter. LA was the first city to employ the helicopter, yo. Where you just hear a helicopter all night. See, a lot of y'all don't know what it's like to be, I know what it's like to be a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old. My dad's out partying and I'm trying to go to sleep, but this helicopter's been over my house for 2 fucking hours looking for somebody. And it's 2 a.m. on a Friday night. Or better yet, my dad is home and it's Tuesday night and I gotta go to school tomorrow. But some dickhead committed a crime and ran in them apartments across the street, and we got this helicopter and this bright light circling for 2, 3 hours. You New York niggas don't know about that. Y'all don't have to deal with no fucking helicopters. A lot of you niggas down south don't know about that because your city didn't have no fucking budget to have a helicopter. And no disrespect to you. But LAPD always had money for the niggas. My whole life, I can't think of a time like now. Like I'll be laughing at my wife because my wife was raised in Ladera Heights. She was a little rich kid. My wife was a rich kid, so she didn't experience that. So about 2 or 3 weeks ago, something that happened around a corner, and the helicopter was circling our house with a bright light kind of coming into the window. Me, I'm chilling. My wife is like, "What's going on? What is this?" I'm like, "It's just a helicopter. It's probably some nigga that's on the run. They looking for. Just don't go outside." I'm chilling. And after about 30 minutes, my wife is like, "What? How long?" And I'm just laughing at her. She's like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Shit, nigga, this sound like childhood to me. Matter of fact, this is nostalgic." Yeah, Larry Smith said you know about none of that. Yeah. When that shit happened here, it was like that shit felt like a little nostalgia. Like, damn, I ain't had a helicopter circle my house in years, probably decades. But up until 94, 93, nigga, this was 2 or 3 nights a week. Yeah, you're right, Spirit Wonder. Cause he said in Windsor Hills, yeah. Cause that's where my parents is now, View Park. You're right, you can hear the helicopter, but the helicopter is down there fucking with the 40s or the 60s of them niggas. They ain't fucking with us. See, people don't know that. That was the environment here in LA. A helicopter over your house 2 to 3 nights a week. AK-47s going off, and police with battering rams. I remember being woken up at 3 a.m. hearing flashbangs. Do you know how fucking loud a flashbang is? And I be listening to all these people criticize NWA and what they was talking about. No, nigga, they grew up like I grew up. You had to hear fucking SWAT team and flashbangs at 2 in the morning raiding Miss Jackson's house. This was normal. I remember because the SWAT team van was basically the same van as like a UPS truck. I remember sometimes seeing UPS trucks, thinking that as a kid. As a kid, I remember mistaking UPS trucks for SWAT team vans. That's how much I would see SWAT team on my grandmother's block. Broadway and Slauson. I don't even be talking to y'all about, most of my stories with y'all is Crenshaw Rodeo. That neighborhood was 15 times better than where I was with my grandmother, and I was with my grandmother 50-50 with my parents. That's motherfucking Slauson and Broadway, east of the 110 freeway, nigga. I don't even be talking to y'all about them stories. A lot of that, I still got PTSD from a lot of that shit. I had to carry PTSD. I had to go to therapy in school. School made me go to therapy because I saw the man. My fucking mother told the teacher that I saw people get killed, and they made me go to therapy. I didn't want to see them niggas die. I'm 9. All I wanted to do was watch Heathcliff. I was just trying to watch Heathcliff. So when I go back and listen to Straight Outta Compton, that album isn't alarming to me because it just gave voice to the neighborhood we grew up in. And the rest of the, especially New Yorkers, man, that started something. No, it didn't start anything. It was a reaction to what we was seeing. Man, Spirit Wonder, your brother got killed. Man, my condolences. Yeah, Chubby, I want to watch Thundercats, nigga. I wanted to get home from school, watch Dennis the Menace, Heathcliff, Popeye if I got home early enough. I didn't mean to act. I'm walking home from school now. Somebody gets shot when I'm walking up home from school and somebody head leaking and I run home. I didn't volunteer for that shit. That's why I don't go around telling them stories, because those stories happen around me. Those stories do not identify who I am, but they definitely cause trauma. And part of the reason why, Rob, if you're still in here, I don't know if you're still in here, you probably still probably mad before I had to say about Tupac, FBA Journal, but part of my biggest issue with Tupac was being born and raised in the environment that I was. I saw this dude come in who wasn't from the environment that really pushed the lower side of that environment through how he acted. And it just made it worse for us who were in it. And I never have been, I've just, a personal thing, I've just never liked that. I just never like people who come into this, and I never have like troublemakers. I don't like troublemakers. And you got people who ain't even from here stirring up trouble. I didn't like the Chronic. Like, I liked the Chronic music when it dropped. Snoop. I tell people all the time, my favorite Snoop album isn't Doggy Style. Doggy Style, I like certain songs on Doggy Style, but I wasn't all in on like Death Row. I remember when Death Row dropped, it just was different. It was like something different about this. I don't like the energy of it. My favorite Snoop Dogg album is The Last Meal. Last Meal, Rhythm and Gangsta, Blue Carpet Treatment. Then Doggy Style. And depending on the day, I might take Paid the Cost to Be the Boss. That album, the album of that, Paid in Long Beach or Brick City, I might take that album before Doggy Style. I don't like that. I didn't like that. Ego Trip, I love Ego. Ego Trip is one of my top 5 Snoop albums. Yeah. I could talk very honest about the West Coast. I did not like the gangsta Death Row records. I love the music. They make Dr. Dre's a fucking genius. Snoop is a genius. Tupac is a genius. I like the Dog Pound, even though they weren't on Death Row. They made some great fucking music. But I didn't like what it did. And I'm talking about in 1993. I was only 12 and I felt it. It was just something in me. I felt it. Like, I don't know. I didn't like 100 Miles of Running by NWA. It all started to change when 100 Miles of Running came out before Death Row. 100 Miles of Running is when it started to, that's when it started to be like, and then Death Row was like, Ice-T, Ice Cube, Straight Outta Compton. It was saying some things that was aggressive and vulgar and in your face, but it was a thing to it. When Death Row dropped, it was kind of like, I remember feeling that in middle school. This isn't me looking back. This is me in the 7th grade. I liked the music, but something about it, then just watching the world around me change, my friends, and the people I grew up playing basketball with, and how everybody went from just, to now everybody got to be tough. Death Row made everybody feel like they got to be tough. And I never felt like I had to be tough. I still don't feel like that. I never want to live a life where I feel like I have to be tough. I never want to live that life. I like smiling. I like being able to say what's up to people. I like laughing. I don't like being tough. You nigga said tell Cube to smile. You know what make Cubes great? This is what makes Ice Cube great. Ice Cube knew he had to adapt that persona for niggas to listen. That hardcore gangster persona, low riding, looking tough. Cube understood that the only way you niggas is gonna listen is if I look like this. But if you listen to him, it wasn't the motherfucking gangster thing he was talking about. That was an aesthetic to draw you in, to make you want to listen. Well played. Well played, Ice Cube. But I've been on here for 2.5 hours with y'all. I gave y'all 2 hours earlier. I'm about to put these AirPods on. And I'm about to listen to some good fucking music. K-Dot played the... K-Dot, if you really listen to K-Dot, Kendrick is somebody who grew up in the neighborhood, knows everybody, but really wasn't in it. Kendrick writes in the true LA fashion. He writes in the same vein as Ice Cube, and that's as the observer. But because he grew up in an environment that will test you. You had to be tough sometimes. I had to be, depending on what you face. But I don't want to have to walk around being tough. And Lori, I used to have I'll get back to having some listening parties. I used to do those on Friday nights, but y'all got to come in. You're right, Will Crash go the same, right, as an observer. You got to follow my Patreon. That's where you get the notifications. All of my listening parties will be done on Patreon. So please subscribe to my Patreon right now. I'm about to turn my Patreon up to another level. Patreon's been going good. I got a lot of lessons up there. I got a lot of shit on Patreon you niggas ain't watched. I'm watching you niggas. I got a lot of dope lessons in music history up there on Patreon. Y'all gotta take advantage, man. Go back Sunday night. If I'm home Sunday night, I'll do an incense and ashtrays. I might be out at the shindig. But if I'm not out at the shindig, I'll do an incense and ashtrays on Sunday night. Live listening party. All right, y'all. Salute to Ice Cube. Salute to y'all. Appreciate everybody going back and forth. I like doing this from my phone. When I'm on my phone, I actually be reading what y'all say. On my computer, I'll be paying attention to you niggas. Salute Artist Life. Salute Go Mac, Larry Smith, Chubby, Spirit Wonder, all y'all. If I didn't say a name, it's not because I don't fuck with you. Just I'm not about to say everybody's fucking name. All right? Go to Peace Pads. Get your Peace Pads in the description. Get your uh, all that shit. Intellectualpower.net. 10% off product code DBrown. Intellectual Power. All right. I'm out.